the audience clapped. She comes to the microphone. She says, "What a lovely day.
What a lovely day. I think we should have a party.
But first we need to clean up this place.
But first we need to clean up this place.
Come along, princesses."
Come along, princesses.
And all the princesses came out, and they started to clean the ceiling, and they cleaned the floors, and they cleaned the windows, and they cleaned the tables, and they skipped to their happy working song partners. And they put their toes to the audience, and they started to clean and clean. And then they were gonna do-si-do with their partners. And they did a low 10, and they clapped. And roll your sleeves up. And they cleaned the floor. And they skipped to their groups. And they scrubbed. And they reached their arms out. And they skipped around the circles. And the others cleaned. Ooh, and cleaning up that. And they skipped to their spots with their partners. And they kept cleaning. And they cleaned up high in the sky. And they got ready to be little mouse. And they reached their arms out. They skipped to their groups. And they cleaned in their groups. And they reached out.
Oh, wasn't this fun?
And they kind of, all my princesses came and put their little scarves in the bucket. And they went back to their spots, except for my center group, who decided to go look for more princesses to come to the party. And they skipped in a circle. And Layla skipped in a circle. And they reached for the butterflies. They tried to catch the butterflies with their hands. And they started to get sleepy, so they sat down on the blue line by the castle. All of a sudden, from behind a waterfall came beautiful princesses. And they put their hands on their hips. They started their dance. 1, 2, 3. This way. 1, 2, 3, 4. They touched their toes. They turned around. They swished their hands to the side. And they started to do their own beautiful dance all over the stage. All around the stage, they went on their tippy toes. And they came back to their end pose. The audience clapped and clapped. Princess Avery came up to this new group of princesses and said, "That was a beautiful dance.
That was a beautiful dance.
Would you like to be our friends
Would you like to be our friend?
and come to a party?"
Come to a party?
And they thought about it for a minute, and they whispered into one ear, and she whispered into her friend's ear, and she whispered, and they said, "We'd love to." And Avery said, "Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Follow me." And they started to walk in a big circle through the muddy and goopy, mushy mud, and they showed me how mushy and squishy it was, trying to find more princesses for the party. And they squished in the mud, and they got stuck a little bit in the mud, and they shook it off their foot. And they kept squishing through that mud. And our waterfall princesses went back to where they came from. All of a sudden, it started to get darker in the forest, and the girls huddled together. And they looked at the audience and they said, "Oh my!" Let's try again, really loud. They said, "Oh my!"
Oh my.
All of a sudden, sudden, these witches jumped out, put their hands on their hips, and they said, "What are you doing in our party?" One more time, really loud with projecting voices.
What are you doing in our part of the forest?
And the princesses got really scared and they huddled together. And the witches decided to tie them up with an invisible rope. And the princesses looked really scared. Show me your scared faces. And they said, "Oh no!"
Oh no!
One more time, "Oh no!"
Oh no!
And the witches went to their spot and they laughed and laughed and they said, "Ha, ha, ha." And all of a sudden, out came the waterfall princesses. And they put their hands on their hips. And they said, "We will save you." I said it one more time.
We will save you.
And they ran around the princesses and undid that invisible wire. And all the princesses said, "Hooray!" With a big smile on their face. 1, 2, 3. Hooray! And the waterfall princesses put their hands on their hips and they looked at those witches and they said, "You need to be nice."
You need to be nice.
And the witches came and put their toes on the line and put their hands around and looked really sad and they said, "We're sorry. We'll try to be nice."
Try to be nice.
And Princess Avery stepped forward and she said, "Would you like to come to our party and be our friend?"
Yeah, like to come to our party and be our friends.
And the witches thought about it for a minute. They huddled together and they thought about it. They whispered and they whispered. And they opened up and they said, "We'd
Love to.
One more time, really loud. 1, 2, 3.
We love to.
And everybody said, "Hooray!" 1, 2, 3.
Hooray!
Princess Abby came to the microphone and she said, "Now you can be our friend
Now you can be our
and
friend.
we'll be stuck like glue."
And we'll be stuck like glue.
And they all ran to their favorite dancing partner friend and they got ready to do-si-do. And they skipped and they skipped. Keep skipping. And they did a low 10. And they clapped and a high 10. And they went back to back. And they skipped. Days don't pull me right back in. And they sang too. And they held hands. And they reached the other hand out. And they swang their hand. Swinging. Now point. Nice and loud. Swing. Whoa, step, step. Point. And they made a sad pose.
Some days I don't feel like trying.
Another sad pose.
Some days you know I wanna just give up. When it doesn't matter who's right, I'd rather all my heart and none. You give me that look. I'm sorry, baby, let's make up. You do that thing that
Do the
makes
laughing
me
pose.
mad. And just like
Do-si-do. Go making my heart beat. And they sang nice and loud. Heart beat again. Low 10. Clap. High 10. Back to back. Do-si-do. Pulling me right back in. Holding hands, reaching out. And they swung their hands. And they pointed. Good. And they swung their hands again. And they pointed. And the audience clapped. Princess Susie skipped to the microphone. Or which Susie, I should say. And she said, "I know the perfect place."
I know the perfect place we can have a party.
She said, "Follow me."
Follow me.
And they all started to climb the mountain. And they climbed as high as their arms could take them. They climbed all the way up to the sky. And when they got to the very top, they looked around. And they started to get a little bit scared because they were on top of a cliff. And Princess Lucy came to the microphone and she said,
Oh no!
"What are we going to do now?"
What are we gonna do now?
Princess Matilda skipped to the microphone. And she says, "I know.
I know.
Think good thoughts.
Think good thoughts.
Sing our favorite star song.
And sing our favorite star song.
And they all skipped to their favorite star positions. And they looked up at the sky. And they saw the beautiful stars up above. And Layla went and sat next to Miss Abby. And I need Hallie to come to the microphone. Okay. And they all looked up at the sky. And they sang their favorite song. Here we go.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires comes to you.
Everybody reach their arms out like this.
She brings to those who love the secret
Good, and they all put their hands to their cheeks.
If your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true.
And the audience clapped and clapped and clapped. And they decided to think of a magic word, and Princess Layla ran to the microphone, and she said, I know a magic word. And ran to the microphone.
I know a magic word.
She said, abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
And they all stood up and said, abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
And that didn't work. They were still on top of the cliff. And so Princess Gabby came to the microphone and she says, I know a magic word.
I know a magic word.
She said, bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Bitty body boo.
And they all reached their wand up and said, bibbidi bobbidi boo.
Bitty bobbity boo.
That didn't work. They were still on top of the cliff. And so Princess Kylie came and she said, I know, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Everybody reached up and said, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
But that didn't work either. And Princess Lily, she came to the microphone and she said, I know, zip zap zoom.
I know zip zap zoom.
And everybody reached up and said, zip zap zoom.
Zip zap zoom.
That didn't work. They were still on top of this cliff. So Princess Avery says,
No. We need to say the magic words, please and thank you.
everybody said,
Please and thank you.
and all of a sudden they were magically transported into a beautiful place for the party, and they danced all around the meadow. And they danced with their wands high up in the sky. And they danced with their wands low on the ground. And they made circles with their wands. And they pretend that their wands were beautiful flowers that they were rocking by. And they all came and put their magic wands down on the ground. And got in their favorite dance places. And they sang their happy party dance song. And they started to clap.
Everybody sing.
Bow to your partner. Turn around.
You turn around. Hands in the air, rocking by your head. Dancing now asleep. Dancing now asleep.
And they danced all around the room with their partners. They put their hands up in the sky and they turned. And they wiggled and they got back to their spots.
Everybody clap. Everybody sing. Down to your partner.
And they turn around.
Then you turn around.
Hands in the air.
Hands in the air, rocking by your bed. Dancing now asleep. Dancing now asleep. Dancing now asleep. Dancing now asleep.
And the audience clapped and clapped. And they all got into one straight line holding hands. And they took a big step back. They took a big step back and let everybody in. And they reached their hands up to the sky. And they reached down to the ground. And up to the sky. And
Chinchilla. Princess Kylie.
And you say, this is Princess?
This is Princess Lydia, and I'm Princess Avery. I'm Witch Montana. I'm Princess Mia. I'm Witch Kenzie. I'm Princess Ariel. I'm Princess Mulan. I'm Princess Cinderella.
And they all held hands and reached up to the sky